It was either that or music. So give you a finger solo. Okay. Well. Anyway, there's yeah. We'll go into it. Right? What a stressful what a stressful 24 hours it's been. It's been nuts. Crazy as it would be. It's been a little crazy, not gonna lie. I had to use a little extra hairspray in my luxurious hair. I had to spray it down and make it stay in place because it was wanting to go that way and sometimes this way. But everything is very much under control. Okay? Let's take her in for a soft landing. We're going to take it in for a soft landing. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. You think LA will open up more on Friday? Louisiana. Not, yeah, Louisiana. Governor will inform us tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't quite recall who your governor is, D, but I sure like your senator, Senator John Kennedy. I like that guy. He's pretty good. And smart. Oh, so we'll just wait a little bit and see if anybody else shows up. Adds to the excitement, the fun, the new precipice of what we're about to go through in America. We're going to find that out, right? We're going to find that out soon. The governor's a dumb. Let's see. Well, he's a Dem, but has he handled your, state of emergencies, like with all the hurricanes? Has he handled that okay as a governor? I mean, I imagine he asked for federal funding, and I, of course, said, of course, I'm going to give you the federal funding. It's something that I do. When Americans need help, then the money goes to them. Okay? Okay. So he sent it to him, right? I think that's how that went, how that goes. So, speaking of like the last 24 hours. Oh, hang on. All right. Got you. I got you. So he was okay in the hurricane, probably because he did. He good governor asked for federal help and he got it. So good. And it's good to see you guys as you enter and come in. We've been going now for a little bit and kind of discussing what's been going on in the last 24 hours. It's been a fun little ride, but we'll give it just a little bit, see if anybody comes in, and then we're going to kind of, what I'm going to do is recap how I perceive all of this going and what it means, I was lucky enough to be in a chat with one or two of you today where somebody mentioned that they were drinking the Malox today. I was like, yeah, for sure, but don't let that worry you too much. You know, guys, we're going to take some inventory about why we are where we are right now. But is that, let's see what I can do about that, Mr. Nizella. Did that take away any of the scratchy? That didn't work for me. So. That's where it's got to be. And I got headphones coming out of my headphones. Sorry about that. Let me take care of that. Yeah. Guys, how was your day? It'll do, Nozawa. Thank you. Catch a wave and surfing on top of the world. Catch a wave, brother. You guys, the last 24 hours. Wow, right? I actually need to have that out of my ear. I don't like that. Yeah. Okay. Sentiment's low. Everybody's got their chin down. Sentiment's low right now. I get it. You see it. You're screaming into a padded room where your voice just disappears. You see the corruption. You see what's going on. You've all seen the maps of Wisconsin and Michigan and the vertical injection of overnight votes, anywhere from 3:30 in the morning to 5 in the morning in both states. 200,000 in Wisconsin, 138,000 in Michigan. Okay, it's in the diagram. It's in the charts. They shut down every state that is a swing state for the counting. President Trump was up over 100,000 plus votes in both those states. No, this didn't just also happen in these two states. This happened. They just called a halt to it in the middle of the night. And now there's tons of evidence coming out showing that they were counting well into the morning. They weren't allowing people to come in and check out and witness the counting, any of that. No, I don't really care how it's perceived. The reality is that there's a lot of stuff that's not right that happened in this election. There's a lot of ballots that were delivered overnight in this election. And some that I've watched would speculate that maybe these mail-in ballots weren't approved by the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security. Maybe they weren't printed by them, which are really, which not are, they are the official ballots for the presidential election. And some of those folks speculate that there would be water stamps and isotopes within the paper that were printed. And the contract was given to them, or not given to them, but it was taken over by Xerox, who actually was one of the approved manufacturers who got a major ventilator contract. But that's not here nor there. The point is that technology exists, and it exists within those official ballots that got mailed out. So what does that tell you guys? It tells you that everything that they are trying to pull, dumping all of these ballots in the middle of the night in major swing states, Wisconsin and Michigan, there's no way they voted for Joe Biden overall. Neither one of us, as much as we are rivals within the Big Ten, neither one of us is going to vote for that guy as a collective want. No. That just didn't happen. Okay. All right. Don't get the police involved. I hear helicopters going on over my head right now as we speak. I hear the choppers. Get to the chopper. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. Get to the chopper. But when you run into the chopper, put your hand on your head, because then you don't get to fly away. You don't get to fly away off the head. You hold it down, and then you get in the chopper, and a little extra Aquanet for my luxurious hair. My luxurious hair doesn't get affected. I read something. I saw something about that. I think there's a fun, good channel, Santa Surfing channel. They were showing fraud in the votes counted as compared to the number of registered voters. I saw that statistic on a number, or there was like 9 states, and it ranged from having like 125% more ballots that got returned. It was just crazy. It was over 100% in like 9 states where it's not possible. It's not possible. It's actually not possible that could be the case. And would it surprise you that it's all in swing states? And I know that doesn't surprise you either, right? The math does not add up. It does not add up at all. Unless you're a Democrat and you really, really hate Trump. And is it me, or is your mind blown still how completely asleep so many people? Let's say they manipulated all of the polls, which they did, the election results, which they did, which coming forward, that's going to be exposed. They're not going to hand the reign of power over to Joe Biden. You can believe that. And I don't think they'll need to. They got in there in time to save Pennsylvania, and they got in there in time to save Arizona. And they might just let bygones be bygones with Wisconsin and Michigan, but keep them in the back burner because they know that shit got manipulated. But everybody's on the scene. So, damn it. Why do I do that? I don't know. I just do. I just do. No, I can't either. I can't believe they're still blind either. So let's say it's 10% less because of manipulation. That is still a bunch. That's a bunch of asleep people. And it's difficult because, like you, I have them in my life that are. And it just gets to the point where on the political side of it, you just kind of like just have to not let politics get in the way of anything. You can't let it get in the way of your relationship with your family members. You certainly can't. You have to, yeah. If it's you or if it's them, whoever, you have to be big enough to put it behind you and say, look, this isn't about politics. You don't have to talk about politics, okay? Because no matter what happens, we have to live with the outcome where it is what it is. Now, whatever that entails, we'll see. I choose to believe that the corruption that has gone on in this election will be front and center regardless. Even if he ends up taking Arizona, which he will. And they're going to put that was the state, by the way, Nevada is going to be the decider. And they had 125% more voter returns than what they sent out. It was ridiculous. And that's going to end up being the deciding state. So the microscope will be firmly up their rectum as we go into the next day or two. My prediction, which isn't really a prediction, it's just kind of how it feels, is that I think the Trump administration got into the corruption that was going on in Pennsylvania early enough and did a press conference early enough that it sent a very strong message to all the other precincts. And a huge spotlight was shown on Wisconsin and Michigan for the late night dumps with the vertical bump. So I think enough has come, and if they're preaching this information and showing it to the vast majority, as I suspect, who are awake, then most of the people, on an overwhelming majority, are outraged tonight by what they're hearing the mainstream television tell them their future is. I suspect a lot of people are not really, really excited about what they're hearing out of that side of the news, if they're even listening to them. I mean, their platforms are dead. Nobody listens to them. Nobody went to the Biden. If America, I'm telling you, people that I love as Americans, if we put up with this shit and allow them to spoon feed this shit and try to lull us to sleep while we just eat it, you know what? We deserve it. We deserve what we're going to get, which is just going to be total misery. We'll go in the history books as the people who wrecked America. That's who we'll be. We'll be the ones who didn't have a backbone and stand up to this bullshit. When are you going to find your voice? When are you going to say enough is enough? It's now. Our president is being railroaded while they try to steal this election. And though I know this is going to come out in the end, that he's going to be taking his reelection oath on January 20th, 2021, it's not going to come without a rash of crazy, crazy shit between now and then. And that's not speculation. That's the window between now and then that the deep state has. I think Trump's going to win re-election, maybe at 73 electoral votes, 273, and it'll be just enough. 270 is the magic number. They built this up to be really, really close. I would tell you there's no way he won Michigan or Wisconsin. So add another 16 from Michigan, add another, I don't know what it is, 14 maybe, 11, Wisconsin, I'm not sure. But that's way, way more than a heaping full. They tried to pull a coup de grace on the United States last night in Michigan and Wisconsin. Halted the voting. I mean, everybody's shell shocked. Everybody's like, what the hell happened? I don't remember anybody ever shutting it down, but it did get to be like 2:30 in the morning. And that's about the time Trump in 2016 took the podium and started saying, it's complicated business, folks. It's complicated business. And why'd they have to? I mean, everybody just, I thought that last night too. I thought everybody is just slow rolling the count. They are just lulling everybody to sleep with the count. Fox News was horrendous. Every one of them. The death of Fox News happened last night. They just don't know it yet. And while people tune in because they have no choice but to choose one of these PU stations that suck, their death is soon. People aren't going to forget this. They'll die like the rest of those other pukes. They're going to die in the ratings. They're going to die, man. They're done. They're done. They are done. And there'll be some new kids on the block, you know. There's going to be people that actually report the news that aren't bought. And that's what we need to heal when this is over. We need truth. Truth will bring some healing. And it's going to be demanded, I would think, bigly. Bigly. It's going to be demanded, though, by everybody that there is actual truth and transparency within journalism. It has to be restored for it to have any credibility. It needs to be smashed, just like the CIA and FBI. It needs to be scattered to the wind and rebuilt. But there is a foundation that is going up within some independent journalism within social media that has credibility, and they're starting to work their ways. And, you know, these are like Newsmax and OAN. No matter how you feel about like who's giving the news, I mean, at least it's fair. It's truly fair. So these are the new voices of tomorrow. And I think some of the good talent out of Fox will land, but maybe private platforms are where it's at in the future. It was good for Joe Rogan, right? He did good. So could you see a Tucker Carlson launching his own independent show? Man, I could see that, and I could see that exploding. Doing that from home? Yeah, I could see that. But man, the election, the elephant in the room. I know it'd be real easy for people to jump ship right now on the whole thing. And you know what? I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't understand it, but I wouldn't blame you. Statistically, where we are right now is exactly where we're supposed to be right now. according to the statistics of what has been shown over the last 3 years. Almost perfectly. Without exception. To a point of no return in proofs. We are right where we are supposed to be. And everything is happening exactly how it's supposed to happen. You did your part and you voted. That was the instrumental part of this phase of the plan, was to get enough of us to go out there and put our vote down. And in an overwhelming majority, we did. And when this all goes through the shredder and all the truth particles get all laid out in front of us, Trump will have firmly secured his reelection by way of a landslide that nobody except you, me, and about 80 to 90 million people saw coming. This is the death cry of the deep state as they die in front of us. They put that old silver-haired corpse up there to run against Donald Trump. They didn't care who they ran against him. The vote was manipulated no matter who they put up there. Howdy frickin' doody could have been run with Kamala Harris. I don't even know why I corrected myself. I was going to call her Kamala. Fuck her. They could have ran anybody. This vote would have come out the same. The problem is they got busted. They're busted. And what could bring everybody together? I saw that, or I heard this earlier. What could bring everybody together better than for both sides of the party, us and the Democrats, to both think that we have the victory in our hands, only to have it snatched out of our hands? For us to unite and say there needs to be voter ID. Personally, if you're asking me, I think it's a very good plan. Something we should institute for 2024, maybe 2022 in the midterms. Could have probably used it in 2020 in hindsight, but how else are you going to wake everybody up unless you let them see all the collusion and all the corruption in that entire deplorable basket of mainstream television and the corrupt, them. I mean, whenever I need some wisdom, I just channel President Trump. It's true, when he wants to sound like he knows what's going on, channels me to think for him, and then he spits out what's probably true in 92 countries across the globe. It's probably very true. Unlike the fake news, which now has a new name. You are now very fake news. Okay? Very fake news. Okay. All right. This is a good way to decompress from the election, right? It's good. It's a good way to go. All right, Nozawa, I understand. It's about business. Got to make that paper, yo. Kanye wasn't on your ballot. It's pretty good. It's pretty really good. Kanye. Man, you guys, this is it's nuts to be sitting here waiting. We're just waiting. Will Fox News come out and claim Biden wins? I think they might. They've been muddying up the waters bad for the last day and a half. When CNN and ABC are more, they're less biased than Fox News. Fox News tonight reminds me of Fox News in the 2018 midterms, and I wanted to reach out and choke them all. I wanted to choke every one of them on the 2018 midterms. They were just horrific. They were like calling California, all that. They were just, you remember that? If you guys watched it, you all remember it. And it was shortly after the Kavanaugh thing. So like everybody was like heightened to like propaganda and horseshit. It was on high point, and they like started pointing all that out. Or maybe it was right at the same time. I think it was actually, now that I think of it. The media and lots of members of the Senate lost a lot of respect from a lot of people that day. Anyway, that was then. This is now. Where do we go moving forward, right? That's the real question. How is this going to play out, right? Isn't that the real question? If you're trusting the plan and we're looking at what we're looking right now, what does that mean? Well, I would say it requires faith. Whether you have it or not, I suppose it really doesn't matter, because whatever's going to happen is really at this point going to play out, right? But for me, I do have faith. I have faith. I have faith that what we're watching and witnessing is going to be the exact it's going to put him back in the re-election while exposing so many things along the way that are going to reunite this country and show Democrats mostly that we're not so different after all in a lot of ways. I mean, most people that are Democrats can have a conversation, but when you start talking about politics, that's when you start to lose like a percentage of them. And for too long, honestly, the radical Democrats have taken it on the chin for the Democrat Party in general. But I also say at this point, if you don't like know what's going on with the president over the last 3-4 years, 5 years, then you have to raise your hand and just know that you're ignorant of what's going on. And that's, like I said in the past, it's not unforgivable unless he actually loses this election. But there's no way he's losing this election. So that's what you have going for you, being ignorant. The Patriots have this under control. He's going to be taking the oath of office again on January 20th, 2021. No matter how they try to frame it and put it, book it. Book it. All right. Well, what else is happening? What else? What's up? Redneck Preppa. I'm sorry, I ignored the chat because my mental midget mind won't let me do both. What's up, man? Hey, yo, Tony, let's go get a slice. Okay. Yeah. You guys, did you feel the vibe? I mean, like, was there were you noticeably different, like how you were in your demeanor around the house? Did you feel a little shell shocked from yesterday into today? I felt a little bit like 9/11, like how I felt on 9/11. I kind of felt like that late into the afternoon, into the evening as I started hearing it. And then I just kind of shut it off. But I was really kind of shell shocked, like going into like, man, they're really going after it, man. The deep state is really, really panicking. They're panicking. Big time panicking. And it very much so, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. Um yeah, it did feel like that. But also it kind of felt like maybe they weren't trying to celebrate really at all because they know that what they did to the American public yesterday with the votes and stopping the counting and all of that, they really know how desperate and horrible it makes them look to have your president going to bed with everybody, stopping the vote, and then waking up and just having all of these extra votes. There's just they're not going to celebrate because they know that that ship has sailed. They don't have any momentum. Nobody's going to get behind that shit. Nobody's going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They haven't earned anything. In fact, they've earned the anti benefit of the doubt, whatever that is. Oh, I know, guilt. They get guilty as charged are these people. You guys, the last time I did a live stream, the only people that got to see it were the people that watched it or somebody that randomly watched it. But they won't put it on my page for like 4 days. They won't like let it go on my page. Like if somebody went to my page, they wouldn't be able to see that video, and they don't post it till like 4 days later. So the censors are on. I mean, there's no reason for that, to be honest with you, but I must say a lot of words that they don't want people to hear. It's my guess. So it just puts me in like a 4-day holding pattern before they'll let the stream land on my page. So I don't know. I must be doing something right. Oh, that's not good. It was gone. Yeah. What are you going to do, guys? What are you going to do? I've heard some people say, what are you going to do if Joe Biden wins? Well, boy, they would sure love that, wouldn't they? But there's no way that they're going to allow that to happen. There is no way they're going to allow that to happen. That's why they got involved today. That's why they came out publicly. That's why all of this stuff is hitting the fan. They're not going to let it happen. They're not going to give the illusion that Biden hits 270. And if they have to count every single vote in Nevada with the help of the National Guard, they'll do it. But I believe whatever comes out of Nevada is going to be a proper count. Because if it's not, and they somehow give Nevada to Biden, and this man like is allowed to claim the presidency or any of that, and it goes unchallenged, like just like if it's allowed to go down that path, you know, I think I'm going to be deep in prayer for a little bit because, I mean, you sure got me Fortunately, just now is the first time that I've ever even thought about it possibly going sideways. So I don't see it going that way. I recognize the corruption. I see it happening. I trust the plan. I trust the president a lot. He earned it. He has earned it. And I trust it. Hypothetically, should it not go this way and it goes the other way? No, I can't even actually allow myself to even think about it. No, it's not going that way. It's just not. No, it has not come this far to be left to this. In fact, if it is left at this, then I'll submit that we're the true sheep. But that's not the case. He'll be taking the oath on January 20th, 2021. What happens between now and then, we will find out. They're prepared, though. You know, these are some of the things that are comforting when I think about it, is that numerous times within the movement, you know, our favorite letter of the alphabet has alluded to, we have the playbook. We know it all. These people are stupid. Moves and counter moves. We have it all. Think about this. I was just thinking about this earlier tonight. I didn't think I was going to read it tonight, but I will again because I just read it the other night. But oh shoot, give me just a second. So it was just going back to October 31st, Halloween, 2 days before the election. There were 3 very, very important drops that night, which I think were a signifier or a marker that we were going to the next phase. October 31st into November 1st, the election cycle. Our favorite letter of the alphabet posted, "Are you ready to finish what we started? Nothing can stop what is coming" is not just a catchphrase. Next post. "Are you ready to hold the political protected accountable?" Protected was in bold brackets. And finally, are you ready to take back control of this country? This is the plan. I thought about opening up my broadcast tonight with Trump's speech, Our Movement. But I think you guys get it by now that this movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment. And it will flourish off the backs of you, the American people, while they enrich themselves and put our country into horrendous trade deals, while they bleed our country dry. The movement was about exposing human trafficking and child trafficking. It was about exposing the horrific travels of people that are brought up from South America and Central America. And it exposed what they go through in the hands of the coyotes and why the wall had to be built. This movement has taught us so much. It's taught us to respect our country again, or even more than maybe we once did. It taught us humanity. It's brought a faction of the country almost as close as a country could be through a belief system of patriotism. And that's a strong bond. Many people have had ups and downs throughout this thing, but the one thing they can count on and have been able to be counting on is that the president has been valiantly and strongly working on the behalf of America. And that includes the American people. But this really is about establishing America back again to what it was destined to be. The deep state, the socialists, the globalists had different plans for America. Anything you have monetarily in your life right now, take 90% of it away, and that was your future in about 10 or 15 years, wherever that puts you. And for those with more, probably means they'll take more. So just level the playing field down to finally we will be butchering zoo animals and prize-winning stallions like in Venezuela. That's what we'll be doing. But thank God that's not America was not so brainwashed it was gone. And to my point the other night, I think that's why maybe Trump had to run against her. But he probably would have run against whoever was running at that point in time, because another 4 years of that brainwashing would have been not good. Not good. And this still might not turn out great, but we are on the right side of humanity in this fight. There's no question about that. There is a right and a wrong in this, and you can be ignorant and think you're voting for Biden and be ignorant, but and not be a bad person, because I don't think a lot of them are, but they are ignorant. And as I've said before, it's difficult to fight for the good of humanity on behalf of a bunch of people that won't carry their water or even research or even look at anything. I don't get it. You know, I've said this to myself 100 times, is that, you know, like, if the Republicans were doing the things that a Democrat was doing right now, I wouldn't stand for that. There's just a point, no matter what the party, you just go, that's not cool. You can't do that. You can't do that. And if you have that within yourself, you are truly not partisan. There's a level of what is normal. It doesn't have to do if you're a Democrat or a Republican. It's just like, that's not normal freaking behavior. No, you don't do that. You don't do that, you know? You just simply don't. I like reading those Q drops right there. It reminds me that there's something much, much bigger than what I perceive to be guiding this mission. Again, to points I've made in other videos, we're watching a movie. A good movie is made of actors and actresses. Enjoy the show. This was more like a dinner theater, okay? There was some participation from the audience. We needed to participate. How? We had to show up and vote. We did our part in the play. He now has the confirmation of the American people that we want him to go forward with the next phase of this plan, and we want him to finish draining the swamp. He has that confirmation. The deep state knows he has this confirmation, and they know they're going to lose. We are watching them die. They don't know what else to do except try to deny him this election. And so many people voted for him that they have no traction. They're about to dry up and disappear. They're going to dry up and disappear right in front of our eyes. Nobody's talking about COVID, are they? Not a soul. Nobody gives a shit anymore. They don't care. They just simply don't care anymore. So, yeah. But back to this. Whoever watches this tonight, that's all that's going to be able to see it. They're going to censor this for 4 days. And who knows what's going to happen. I predict they announce President Trump wins the re-election on Friday. God, but I really do think Fox News is going to call it for Biden. Maybe late tonight, maybe like 3 a.m. Fox News analysts from the poll are going to call it Nevada for Joe Biden. 2% of the vote is in. Looks like a clean sweep by Joe Biden. And that's about the time we got to strap up Bill Hemmer and take him to the gallows. But not really. He's just a meat puppet. That's all. He's a mainstream mockingbird meat puppet. Just like the rest of them. I'm looking forward to pulling the people up in front of people who we don't know who they are. The people that have all the wealth. The people that don't own Amazon. No, I'm talking about the people that own castles and manors and estates, and not just one, but like 50. That's the people I want to see front and center. These evil. Would you say they're evil? I would say they're quite evil. Would it be an evil empire? Shh, Scott. Shh, Scott. Shh. I have an entire bag of shh. Mr. Evil. Okay. Well, we're coming up here on an hour. We got about 5 minutes. I won't burn it. I don't really have much more to say, guys. Get down on those knees and pray. I've been praying. Not bragging, just saying. God knows I've been praying. I'm telling you because I want to encourage you to go pray because I think it's a good time. Pray for the healing of our nation. Pray for the evil to be exposed. Pray for it all. Pray for help, wisdom, guidance, discernment, love, apathy, healing, trust. Pray for it all and mean it. Our country needs it. We need to let this re-election just be a true antiseptic to the evil within, just deeply rooted within the history of this world. Think about what will happen if he gets reelected and what it means and how it will rip that corrupt vein out of its grip on just the world, not America, the world. They weren't going to give up quietly or easily. So don't you give up. Don't you lose any hope. Don't. Don't allow it into you. Pray. Pray. Full armor of God. Know you're on the right side of history. You are on the right side of history, you guys. Believe it and know it. It can't be any other way. You can't listen to the mainstream television and let them kill your spirit. It's the deep state's last gasp, okay? Good thoughts, positive thinking. We got this. You were made for this, remember? We're all made for this. Be strong. Be strong and don't believe the mainstream television. Trump will be reelected. Just think about everything that's been proven to you so far. We got this. All right. God bless you all. And I will see you very soon. We'll see how it plays out. Remember, my prediction is Trump gets called president, reelect Friday, sometime Friday. But until then, pass the Tums, because